What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I'm going to go over the trades that we took today inside the Discord, as well as the plan going into tomorrow. Before we even start, if you guys want to learn how we're trading these charts, join the Discord down below. There's a free one, paid one, doesn't really matter which one you join. You can learn either way, obviously through the YouTube videos, and then also asking questions in the Discord. And I'm occasionally dropping, free game in the free Discord as well. So that's the place to be if you want to learn. But when it comes to SPY today, so I didn't trade anything on SPY, but again, I told you guys going into today, I favored the upside just because market was bullish here, because the 30-minute chart on the Friday contracts tell us the trend. You can see what happened yesterday at close. We were obviously bullish because this 10 SMA is above the 50. And then when we go to the higher time frames, you can see all the other time frames were crossing. And this 2-hour chart ended up crossing today, and then we have this 4-hour chart that's beginning to cross. Looks like we're probably just going to keep grinding higher. We do have PPI in the morning tomorrow, so obviously that could change. But with how the charts are looking and shaping up to be, I definitely favor higher. I mean, look at this daily chart on SPY. We finally broke above that 50 SMA, and I told you guys that's why I've been leaning more so to the upside, is because this monthly chart back in here. What did we say about this monthly chart on SPY? It's really bullish. The higher time frame trend is still bullish, and when we're around this 50 SMA, it's a massive support. You can see we hit it back in here. Look at the move we got. We finally got a pullback. I know it closed below, but we did regain it the next day, and once we regained it, that's when it was looking really bullish, and it chopped around a little bit, and we finally saw some continuation. And look at the move higher. I mean, the charts are really bullish. There's really nothing else to say about it. Even this weekly chart is at the 50 SMA. I usually don't even look at this chart. It's pretty irrelevant just because it's such a high time frame that there's really nothing you could take a trade off of. But again, we broke above that weekly 50. I mean, there's really nothing to talk about on that chart. It's pretty insignificant. But yeah, I mean, as long as we're above this 50, the market's bullish on a higher time frame picture. And then on a weekly picture, the 30-minute chart tells us that intraday trend, not intraday trend, but weekly trend, obviously for the weeklies, and then monthly trend with the monthlies. So told you guys I've been bullish, and market's just been grinding higher. Every dip has been getting bought up. If there's any dip tomorrow, if we come down to this 50 SMA is a major pivot point and wouldn't be a bad spot to add long. But right now, we've been just focusing on the options trades. If you guys are in the Discord, we've been absolutely killing it. I mean, there really isn't an easier way, in my opinion, in swing trading than trading these charts. And we'll go over we'll start with Apple. I went over this in yesterday's video, but my God, Apple. I mean, this was such a clean setup. If we look here, these are the August contracts. I told you guys I was swinging this, and look at the move we got today off of open 9:30 all the way up until 10:30, 11 o'clock. This thing absolutely flew. And you already know I told you guys I was in Apple yesterday, and we caught 65%. I think that's where I trimmed half of it, and then we ended up getting this pullback. I actually added some dated contracts down in here for September. Once we got this little pullback, I added on this candle right here, 12:30 to 1 o'clock in this area right here, I added September 12th contracts, and we're swinging those. I just love this chart because when we go to the higher time frames, what do we see? We see this daily chart right here on the weeklies is just beginning to cross, and then also this 4-hour chart is just crossing as well. We got the cross on the 4-hour, 50's curling up, 10's up, and then obviously on this daily chart we broke above this 50 SMA on the daily chart, and this 10 SMA is pointing up. The 50 is pretty level. I mean, I'd expect Apple to go higher over the next couple days, and then we paired that up with the monthly chart, which gauges the bigger picture trend. And look where we're at on here. I told you guys this is a very bullish looking chart. Even though Apple's ripped a lot, I mean, every dip is going to get bought up because 10 SMA is about the 50. We're just crossing on the monthlies. And to give you guys a perspective on just crossing on the monthlies, I'm going to pull up another chart here. I'll just give you Microsoft, because there was definitely a big move that happened. Look at the trend we got once Microsoft crossed. I mean, this is the reason why these monthly crosses are so significant, because once we get the initial cross, yeah, it could chop around a little bit, but we just continue to trend up. Every dip gets bought at this 50, and Microsoft was a great example. Nvidia was a great one. I mean, there were so many stocks that crossed in the monthlies, and we just absolutely flew. That's why monthly contracts are so important, and Microsoft is actually one that I do like going into tomorrow and the rest of the week, just because of this monthly chart. We hit the 50. We just need a 30-minute cross to get going, and I'd like it for a trade. But back to Apple. If we go here on the 30-minute, you could have literally bought this 50 dip anytime today. I mean, we pulled back right here, right here. Apple is very weird today because there was news that came out. This candle right here was pretty wild. I was up like 27% at one point on the September contracts I had, but obviously I'm not selling for 27%. I'm looking for higher, but you know, if you played shorter expiration, you would have caught. I mean, these contracts dipped to like $1, under $1, and they peaked at 233. If you grab the weeklies, you caught over like 130%. So, you know, that was, you know, it's very simple. We're just buying these 50 dips, This 30-minute 50 is major support. I know we broke below it down in here, but again, when you look at the bigger picture on the other like time frames, I don't know why I said other, but on the higher time frames, we're just crossing on all these charts. And you know, just because we close below the 50, this is an instance where I'm not going to stop out. I went over this in the Discord, told you guys I'm not going to stop out with the closure below this 50, just because of how bullish the other time frames are. Maybe if this chart did go negative, then I'd consider selling it. But you know, if since we never crossed negative, this 50 SMA ended up getting reclaimed. 50 was still trending up super hard, so it never curled down, and that's why we stuck with Apple and swung it today. I mean, it was just a clean setup. This is the A+ setup that you want to be taking every day of the week, and I got some going into the next couple of weeks. So we had the September contracts, got some more time on our hands in case we get any dips, and if we do get any dips, I'm most likely going to be adding more to it. So yeah, riding with Apple right now. Intel, man, this was such a clean setup. Went over this yesterday, but I told you guys I continued to hold it. And if you guys remember from yesterday, told you guys the target on this trade, the 4-hour 50 SMA. I mean, it really doesn't get easier than that. When we pull up I'm going to show you guys the P&L I had on this, or not P&L, the percentage, the screenshot I had. This is the last screenshot I had. But it did go to 160%, and that's actually where I ended up selling it all at, 160%. This is the trade that we took on Intel. Call this out in the private. I mean, it was a easy trade. I hand-feeded you guys this. I walked you through it. I held your hand, told you guys I'm still holding it because I was up 70% yesterday at the close, all right? Today, it ended up gapping down, but guess what? This gap down right here, it was still super bullish. This 50 SMA was trending up super hard. We go to the other time frames here. Look at, oh my god, I hate when I do this, but look at, we pull back to the 10 SMA. We're still sitting at that key support area on these other time frames. 2-hour chart, pull back to the 10, 50's up, 10's up. It just looked really good. And where did we hit today? The 4-hour 50. Honestly, I think Intel is going to end up flying through this 50, and we're probably going to end up breaking above the daily 50. That's just my guess of what's going to happen. And this chart is still pretty bullish. I don't think this is going to reject, but again, I stuck with my plan. I sold it all at this 4-hour 50 for 160%, and I don't think it went higher throughout the day after we sold it. I'm pretty sure I pretty much sniped the top with the sell on that. Do I think it goes higher? Yes, but I mean, 160%, I'm walking away at that point. Really nice trade, and yeah, gave you guys in the Discord. I'm not sure if anyone took it, honestly. I saw no one posting that you took it, but I know some guys took Apple. Apple was another good one. Was like 60-some%, I think. I'm gonna try and find the P&L for you guys just so you guys know I took it, but I mean, it was just beautiful. Like, these crosses, man, it's the easiest thing to trade. Like, there's no charting involved. We're just playing these crosses, buying the 50 dips. It's pretty simple. Here's Apple. These are the ones that we called out yesterday. Absolutely flew off the open, and this is where we ended up selling a good chunk of our position here. So yeah, that's what we did in the Discord today. We caught Apple, Intel, and I'm pretty sure that was it today. And then obviously I re-entered Apple, and we're swinging the September contract. So that's what we did today. What else do we have on here to go over? Google. Let's see, what do we look like on Google here? Google ended up getting a funky wick because of that Apple news that came out, but again, I still like this chart. I mean, this daily chart is very intriguing because if we go here in the 30-minute, we just need this 30-minute chart to cross. If this 30-minute crosses, long Google, because that's going to end up crossing us on this daily chart, and it's going to absolutely fly. So again, if we get the 30-minute cross, I really like Google for upside. If we don't get it, I'm not going to take an entry on it, just because the higher time frames are pretty bullish. And then we flip to the September contracts really quickly. You could see what happened. We end up getting a pullback on the 4-hour a little bit, and also, we didn't get too big of a pullback to the daily, but we hit the daily 10 SMA, which, if you guys could tell, every time, the 10 SMA is kind of like a trailing point. If we, bounce out the 10, most likely we're gonna go higher. It's really hard to tell from here, but there really wasn't any major bounces off the 10 that continue higher, but sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. But again, we need that 30-minute cross on Google to go long. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple, guys. We're watching 2 sets of contracts for the individual stocks. We're watching the weeklies and the monthlies. If you guys don't know how to pick them, I went over it in my strategy video. I think it's pinned on my YouTube, or just I posted it like last week. So make sure you guys watch that. Because I'm not going over that in every video. It's kind of going to be repetitive if I take the time to explain that, just because it's wasting time in the video. But if you guys don't know, either watch that video, join the free Discord, ask a question, and I'll be sure to answer it. But we're watching the monthlies and the weeklies. How do we determine what we're taking and what time frame to look at? So on the monthlies, you guys can tell I'm only looking at the daily, sometimes the 4-hour chart. On the monthly contracts, the weeklies, the 30-minute cross is like the most important cross there is, because that's what signifies that weekly trend. So once that 30-minute crosses, then I go to the other time frames to see, are we crossing on the 1 hour, the 2 hour, the 4 hour as well? And like on Intel, let me go back to Intel really quickly. Like on Intel, we saw that the why is this being weird? We saw that once we got this 30-minute cross, all right, I go to the other time frames and see what's going on. So you can see this 1 hour was already crossing in sync with the 30-minute, and then we did have this 2-hour 50. So again, I said this in the last video, the 2-hour 50 is not too significant. I'm more concerned about the 4-hour, but again, this just kind of added confidence once we did break above and this cross started to happen. I'm like, okay, where are we gonna go most likely next? It's gonna be the 4-hour 50 SMA. It's the next line of resistance. And what happened? We went right up to the 4-hour 50 today, and that was the plan for the trade, is to sell it once we get near that 50. That's what we did today, and that's how we executed it. I always have a plan for every single trade we take. I'm always looking for like take profits. It's always like 50 to 70%. I'm looking for my first trim. I never sell the whole position at once. So 50 to 70% is that first trim, and then once we get up to like the 80 to like 100% range, that's where I'm looking for another trim. More so like closer to 100. Usually it's like 60% take a trim, take another trim, be out of my position mostly at like 100%. But today was a little different with Intel because I was looking for that 4-hour 50. There was no reason to take another trim before this 4-hour 50. There was nothing standing in the way of us rejecting. So that's why I held up until that 4-hour 50 and how we got 160% today. It's usually based on percentage, but when we have a chart like this, I'm basing it off of the resistance that we have overhead, and that was the 4-hour 50 SMA. So that's how we're able to catch the big moves. Like there wasn't anything standing in the way, so I'm like, okay, this is gonna go right in this 4-hour 50, and that's what happened today. And again, like our losses are typically 30-40% max. Sometimes maybe it'll be like 50%, but when we have our winners, trimming half from 50 to 70%, all right? And then most of the time we're selling most of the position for like a net gain of like probably like 80%. That's where the risk to reward comes into play. Like we're never taking a loss of 80% or 70%. So it's our winners are way more than our losers, and more times than not we do win trades, obviously, because when we have this many confluences, when we get these 30-minute crosses aligned with the monthly contracts, then we also have the weekly chart crossing on the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour. These are the A+ setups you want to be looking for every day. But that's what we did today. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like, drop a sub. If you guys want to learn, like I said, Discord down below, free one, paid one, doesn't matter which one you want to join. You're going to learn either way, and I also have all the YouTube videos for you to learn. So, pretty much all the resources are there for you to learn. It's up to you to put in the work and actually, learn how we trade these charts. So that's all I got. I'm out. Peace.